Welcome to the HaneyBiz Project with Mark Haney. Mark is a serial investorpreneur and the chief dreaming officer of the HaneyBiz companies. He's working tirelessly to ignite the entrepreneurial revolution and share the inspiring stories of the region's most influential leaders. And now, here's Mark Haney.
All right. This is the HaneyBiz Project, and we are on a mission to ignite the entrepreneurial revolution right here in our hometown of Sacramento. And you know, we've been coming off a patriotic week with 9/11 and all the events that have happened with law enforcement and police-related shootings. And, you know, I think it's time now, Marcus, for us to do our part in helping keep Sacramento strong. Let's talk about building some businesses today. This show is about entrepreneurs helping entrepreneurs, one entrepreneur at a time, one conversation at a time. And we know that conversation all begins with one simple question. Are you hanging or are you banging today, Marcus?
I am banging today, and it sounds like you're banging too. I'm fired up and love your enthusiasm.
Well, when we are banging, we are at our very best opportunity. And right now, my very best opportunity is about helping share the stories of real-world entrepreneurs, because it's in those stories that's where we learn. And at 54 years old, I am still learning. Today, we got a great show. We're going to be bringing in some guys that really have a story that is going to help us to better build our story. But, you know, we ask the question every week, and not everybody knows this, but we put out a newsletter. It's called The Revolution, right? We're building a revolution right here in Sacramento, and it's our goal to ignite that somewhat. And so our newsletter, it's called The Revolution, and typically we'll ask a question in The Revolution. And this week's question was, what is the one thing that every entrepreneurial success story has in common? What's the one thing that every one of these big-time successes have in common? Marcus, you got any thoughts on that?
Oh, well, my initial thought was a super hot secretary.
That can help. That can help with the motivation.
Perfect. Well, just kidding.
You got to have motivation.
Absolutely, in the office, that's necessary. But I was also thinking about the entrepreneurs we had on the last 2 years on this show, and what I've really taken away from a vantage point is their ferocious tenacity to never give up as an entrepreneur, right?
I love it.
We kind of use a similar terminology in the Marine Corps as never surrender.
Okay. And I can see that has been helpful for you in your time with it being in the Marine Corps. But you know what? In business, I agree. Darren McAdams, Food Jets, right? He has been on the show. He replied back to the newsletter and said he thinks it's determination. So I think you and he, Marcus, maybe are aligned in your way of thinking.
Maybe Darren.
I also heard things like just do it, keep your eye on the goal of the vision, believe in yourself, believe in the product, but be willing to adjust. And then the one thing that I think I can relate to a lot is, I heard from Kim at All My Best, keep learning every day. And I need to do that, and I am still doing that.
Absolutely.
But you know, as we ask these questions, sometimes it causes all of us to sort of think about what that means to us as we build businesses. You know, I think we have 13 businesses. I've bought and sold different businesses, and now I'm the investorpreneur. So trying to help people build businesses. And what I've seen in successful businesses, not just from building my own, but from talking to successful people, is that every successful business has a great team. All the ones that really boom, that really thrive, they end up having a great team, and they need somebody who's great at building this really cool product. Typically, it's a differentiated product. But you also need somebody who's great at finance. You need someone who knows the numbers guy. Right. But you also need somebody who can take that product to market, who knows distribution, knows marketing, knows sales. And it's when you bring those groups of people together, that's when the magic happens, if they're willing to go all in. And I think the other thing that happens when a successful group of people come together, a driven, committed group of people come together, is that they discover the secrets, right? Every successful company has a secret sauce, a competitive advantage. Sometimes that competitive advantage is so strong it may even feel a little bit unfair. But I guess the question would be, when you have a secret in your business, who do you tell that secret to? Who can know about the secret? Today, coming up in the show, we're going to hear a little bit about building businesses, try to discover some secrets that we may be able to apply in our business life. The best way to learn is by getting in the game and doing it yourself. But the second best way to learn is by talking to people like today's people that we are going to have on the show. Later in the show, we're going to be talking with Mito Eldon, the man behind the HaneyBiz Marketing Company. Mito will unveil a few of the secrets in digital and influencer marketing. You know, those secrets that help us deliver the cutting-edge results for our clients. But also later in the show, we're going to be talking finance, because we got the marketing guy coming on. We also got to have a finance guy coming on today. And today we are going to meet Jon Gregory. He's the vice president of venture banking for our 5-star bank. But coming up after the break, we'll meet a man who has begun his business in the laundry industry. And you know, Marcus, I saw a laundry detergent ad the other day, and it was a commercial, and it was claiming that, this detergent could get the sweat stains and the blood stains out of my uniform and out of my clothing. And I just couldn't help but think to myself, if I have blood stains in my clothing, maybe that's, clean laundry is not my biggest problem. So coming up after the break, get ready to meet Arik Levy. He is coming in. He is the founder of Laundry Locker and Luxer One. Join the revolution at HaneyBiz.com, brought to you courtesy of 5-Star Bank. This is the HaneyBiz Project.
Now, back to the HaneyBiz Project with host Mark Haney.
All right. Welcome back to the HaneyBiz Project, brought to you courtesy of SUNSYSTEM Technology. I'm Mark Haney, and today I am joined by Arik Levy, founder of Luxer One and the Laundry Locker. Now, Arik, tell us how you took Laundry Locker and it turned into Luxer One. What did you do? What jumped out to you that said, you know what? I see an opportunity here. I'm going to make a little shift in my business.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me on, Mark.
You bet.
It's great to be here today and share my story with you. So about 12 years ago, started Laundry Locker. I literally could never get my dry cleaning done because worked normal hours. And in fact, it was a dry cleaner in my apartment building. And so I could never get my dry cleaner. There was a dry cleaner in my apartment building, but literally I'd leave before they were open and get back. And I'm sure a lot of you guys can share that. So I came up with this concept. I said, if there's a locker in my building, this would be amazing. Let me give this a try. I always says, I don't consider myself, or at least didn't consider myself at the time, an entrepreneur. I didn't really have that, I can't work for the man. I had a great job working for the man, enjoyed it. Started my career at General Electric. And, but I always said, if I have a good idea, I want to give it a try. I want to prove to myself that, I can actually make this work. So that's how Laundry Locker was born.
You saw in the laundry business, you're living in an apartment and said, you know what? I see an opportunity, because you saw a problem in your own life.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, and so
what was that business? You created a locker for laundry for apartment complexes?
Yeah, to me, it's kind of one of those, wow, this idea is just too stupid, too simple to be true. Why isn't anybody doing this? So it's like, somebody's got to be doing this. I searched high and low. Somebody's got to be putting lockers in buildings, and people just drop their laundry off, and sure enough, there wasn't. So that's how Laundry Locker was born. I got the great name, which, was awesome, especially when you're starting new, and having a name that's just really descriptive was really helpful. So I went out, bought some lockers, knocked on some apartment doors, said, can I put these in here and give it a try? And within about 3 years, we became the largest dry cleaner in San Francisco.
Wow.
And so, still hold that title. We've had a lot of stiff competition. It's been a fun ride, and still owning. And
but what differentiates you is that somebody goes around and actually picks up the laundry at the apartment complex or at the location, takes it back, gets it cleaned, and then returns it back to you. You never have to drive over to the laundromat anymore. Or it does dry cleaning and regular laundry?
Yeah, dry cleaning and wash and fold.
Okay.
The number one reason someone chooses a dry cleaner is convenience, right?
Okay.
You're going to one that's most convenient for you. It's the guy who's on your way to work, or maybe picks up from your house. So if there's a locker literally outside your apartment, that's the one you're going to default to if it's the easiest. And so that's, we win the convenience game all day. We run our plant overnight, so it comes in during the day, we process it overnight, return it back to you the next day. really high quality product. We're killing it out there. It's a lot of fun.
That's great. Well, now something led you, at some point, a light bulb went off and said, you know what? I think there's a way to use what we've learned here at Laundry Locker to do something new. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so what happened there is actually another company called Drop Locker, which is another company I founded, and that's actually the software that runs Laundry Locker. And so we were looking at how do we expand Laundry Locker beyond San Francisco and start to license out. Figured, we looked at private equity, and we're pretty close to doing that. Looked at franchising, and we actually became a California franchise and then scrapped that and said, actually, the best business model here is for us to license our software. We had a lot of dry cleaners coming out and saying, hey, I want to do it, but I want to do it under my brand. It's Mike. So we said, we'll sell you the software. So right now we have about 75, we call them partners all over the world. We're probably in about 15 different countries, all running this same business model. So if you're in, Chicago and there's somebody with lockers in your apartment building, it's probably running our platform. It's based off that Laundry Locker legacy. So all those partners, as well as us in San Francisco, when I first started, and we're primarily in apartment buildings, the leasing office would get 2 or 3 packages a day. UPS drops off a package, says, hey, can you hold this for us? The guy's not in his apartment. The guy comes down. Girl comes down after 5, says, hey, do you have my package? They go, yeah, sure, here you go. Well, it's 1 or 2 packages. Well, through the time that Laundry Locker was around, probably really around 2010 is when it really started to take off with this e-commerce stuff.
Right.
And it went from 2 or 3 packages a day to 40, 50, 100 packages a day.
Wow.
And these guys are swimming in packages, and they're going, can you help us solve this problem?
The apartment manager, the person that's overseeing that, is just bombarded with boxes, and so you have to solve the problem for the apartment complex. And I would think that the tenant maybe even having stuff getting ripped off if it's not put in something more secure.
Oh, yeah. We call it a 3-legged stool when we talk about how our solution solves the problem, but you've got the residents who want to access their packages. And if you're a resident in an apartment building, the number 2 most sought after amenity is access to packages.
Okay.
So I don't know if you've lived in an apartment in a city like San Francisco, but you can't get packages. Unless you've got a doorman, you're not getting packages, and now offices don't want to accept the packages, so what do? So all this, amazing e-commerce is great, but it breaks down at that last couple inches. And so, UPS will try to do nighttime deliveries. They're trying to inject through U.S. Postal Service to get you these packages, but still lots of struggle there. So you got the residents, you have the properties who are saying, man, this was 1 or 2 packages. Now it's a full-time job. I've got to hire somebody full-time just to handle packages. And a lot of these properties are, because they know it's a great amenity that helps them get residents in the building. And then the third constituent is the carrier, right? So the UPS, the FedEx guy who's got to walk around that building, spending an hour, knock on every door. Sorry, I missed you. Take the package back, come back the next day and try to get it delivered. And that's what the Luxer One problem solution solves.
Make it easier, even for the UPS guy. Yeah, he probably loves you.
Yeah, they do.
Now, so you got this great product. Who buys the product? How do you take it to market?
Yeah, so our current business model as it is today is that we sell it to the property. So typically the property is the one who's got an ROI because they've started investing in this and putting staff behind it. They might have a full-time person who's handling packages. You can put in one of our locker systems, and typical ROI is somewhere in the 6 to 9 months for them to pay back that investment.
Okay.
So that's who our current customer is the property. We think that'll change over time.
How do you get the UPS guy to pay you? It sounds like you're saving that guy a lot of work. You're saving a lot of wear and tear on that body.
Well, you think like I do, Mark. So actually, we came to market a little bit later than we should have because the first year, I went out with this product. The same thing as with Laundry Locker, knocking on doors. Hey, you want to buy some lockers? And these guys are like, yeah, we got the problem, but it's not our problem. It's Amazon's problem. It's UPS's problem. We shouldn't have to pay to put in lockers. And so, we said, okay, well, we've got the 3 constituents. The property doesn't want to pay. Residents don't want to pay, right? Everybody knows that. It wasn't until Amazon started doing free shipping that Amazon really started taking off, right? People are not willing to pay for shipping. So we went to the carriers and said, well, listen, we're going to save you a ton of money.
Yeah.
It costs them about 40% of the cost of a delivery is that last mile. Right? And so we can save them. We can guarantee them first-time delivery. We can reduce the amount of time it takes for them to walk around the property. And so it's huge savings for the carriers. So our business model is let's go out to UPS, let's go to FedEx and talk to them about how we can save them money and share in that cost savings for them. Unfortunately, small guy with the startup, no locations. These guys are delivering millions and millions of packages a day. Why are we going to get sort of in bed with you? You got to go out and prove the model before we're interested. But even still, we deliver over 500,000 packages a month. We're still just a little blip on the radar. But it really is taking off. This package industry, I've kind of fallen into something that I didn't think it would be what it was, and it's going nuts.
How do you measure your growth? Is it number of packages? Is it revenue? I mean, is there a way when you gather the team around and say, "Hey guys, we're doing good." What kind of numbers or metrics, excuse me, do you guys talk about?
Yeah, I mean, all over the board. For me personally, I measure it by revenue, right? So
hey,
that's the
no
number
doubt.
I'm looking at every day, right? But some of the key metrics, the leading indicators that lead to that, right, are number of packages delivered per day, number of packages per month, number of properties that we've got our lockers in. So those are the key things that we're looking at as an organization.
Well, you guys are having very fast growth. I guess if there's one word that might describe your growth, what would it be? Astronomical?
Yeah,
I mean, because you guys are growing very, very rapidly, and I guess and you're a humble guy, so you don't want to maybe speak in those terms, but I mean, I'm thinking about the Amazon effect and how so many small businesses may be affected negatively by an Amazon effect. Others have found a way to, I guess, be creative, and that's you guys. I mean, you guys have. I guess you've skated to where the puck is going to be, and so I call that a secret. When you have an idea that nobody else has yet thought of, that's kind of like a secret. And so my question is, how do you decide who you're going to tell your secrets to? I mean, who do you tell them to, and how do you decide who gets to know the secret sauce from Luxer One?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's our customers, right? I mean, we want to convince them that we know the secrets that our competitors don't, and we do. I mean, we know how to get the carriers on board. We know how to make the solution work, and so that's who we're sharing the secrets with. Obviously, our internal team as well,
right?
Any constituents that we have, and so obviously, this Amazon effect is we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Amazon. Well, and online commerce growing 25% a month or a year, right? 25% year-over-year growth for e-commerce. We've got a lot of catching up to do, right? So every one of these apartment buildings needs a way to solve it. The smaller buildings need to solve it. The 4-unit complexes in downtown Sacramento need to solve it. So there is a massive market opportunity, and we're just touching the surface.
Who's your competition?
We've got a couple other players in the space. So in the multifamily space, there's really kind of 3 of us.
Okay.
And multifamily has really been the first one to grab hold of this concept. But we're starting to see some really amazing opportunities. I mean, you're going to start seeing it in retail. We're working with a couple pilots with some of the largest retailers in the country.
I saw something with Safeway at Amazon the other day. I saw something. Yeah,
well, I mean, Amazon just bought Whole Foods, right? So they're putting the lockers into Whole Foods. So Amazon lockers has been a big concept for them for a long time, and everybody else is kind of playing catch up. Because we talk about the 4-unit complex in Sacramento, right? How do you get a package delivered there? You can't. So maybe you get to the office if you're lucky, but a lot of times they don't want to accept it. And so Amazon, what they've done, they've started to deploy lockers. So they'll put them in a 7-Eleven, they're putting them in a Safeway. And your package now, if you weren't an online customer, now you've got a locker down the street. You can get your package delivered to that locker, and you've got a secure, easy way to pick it up when you want.
What a great idea. We only have 40 or 50 seconds left, but you and I are both members of the Entrepreneurs Organization of Sacramento. You're on the board. I'm a board member in a way, and coming back on the board. But talk to me about the Entrepreneurs Organization of Sacramento. I mean, it's guys like you that make EO so great, but what do you get out of EO?
Well, I mean, it's guys like you that make it great, right? I mean, what I get is an amazing network of people. When I moved up here to Sacramento, first thing I said is, how do I get into EO? How do I find a bunch of like-minded people who can help me grow my business? I mean, when I first joined EO, we were doing about $3 million in sales. I mean, this year we'll probably clear over $25 million in sales.
Wow.
Right? And I attribute a lot of that to EO. I mean, there's things that I brought to EO and my team there and my group of entrepreneurs that just helped me grow as a better person. I was a single guy in Sacramento and San Francisco. Now I'm married. I've got 2 little kids. I mean, it's just, and I even attribute a lot of that to it. So it's really just, as an entrepreneur, we have no place to go, right? We got nobody that we can talk to who understands what we're feeling. But you and I can sit down in a bar and have a whole different level of conversation than anybody else can. And that's because of EO. Yeah,
no question. EO, great organization. To me, I always think of my form. It's kind of like AA for entrepreneurs. Well, we get sort of addicted to entrepreneurship, but we can go in there and talk to our peers about this addiction and this love that we have for building businesses. I want to thank you for coming on the show, Arik. I gotta jump to break, because coming up after the break, we're gonna have Jon Gregory. He is the Vice President of Venture Banking for 5 Star Bank. Join the revolution at HaneyBiz.com, courtesy of Audi Rockland. This is the HaneyBiz Project.
Welcome back to Mark Haney, igniting the entrepreneurial revolution with the HaneyBiz Project.
I'm Mark Haney, and I am joined by Jon Gregory, Vice President of 5-Star Bank. John, when you first came in, you said, Mark, are you hanging or banging? And you could tell I am banging today. How you doing? You hanging or banging today?
I'm banging.
I love it. All right, for a banker to say I am banging, I am, because bankers are kind of known as being the really conservative guys. Are we going to be able to break the mold today?
We're breaking the mold today, Mark.
I love it. Now, you are new to 5-Star Bank in many ways. You've been there a little bit, but you've started a new division at 5-Star Bank focused on venture banking. Talk to us about what that is.
Yeah, well, I really love the entrepreneurial revolution because I truly believe we're the difference makers, that sector in any economy, right here in the capital region in particular. So in venture banking, we're trying to create a new means to help entrepreneurs start and grow their companies, right? The typical model to raise capital for an entrepreneur is not a simple one to go through, and typically commercial banks are not a good channel for that.
Yeah.
So what we're trying to do is blend an opportunity to work alongside the investment community, right, and the high growth potential and ways that they provide capital, and come alongside them to provide debt capital through the bank. And that really does three things. One, it allows that company to extend its runway, right? So rather than just $1 million, if we can come alongside with another 25%, they've now got $1.25 million to work with.
Now you said three ways. I want to break this down a little bit for the C students among us. So I'm building a company, and maybe I bootstrapped it to get it to a certain point. Now I want to raise some venture capital to help ignite my growth or to advance the ball. Maybe I'm getting private equity or some sort of venture funding. Now, in order to do that, I got to go out and pitch and get this venture capital. But alongside that, I could go to a 5-Star bank, and you would invest in a way alongside the venture capital company. So that gets them actually more money to grow their business.
In fact, we're starting with a partnership with Netta Ventures here locally, and yes. So first, that extends the runway by providing more capital. But equally important, by having a portion of the capital being debt versus equity, it minimizes the dilution and the loss of ownership of the company rather than if all of the capital provided was through the investment. You don't have
to sell off as much of your company when you borrow some money.
And third, one of the real struggles with entrepreneurs raising capital is it can take forever, right, to get that last chunk of capital to get going with executing on your business. So what this also can do with the additional injection that we can provide is just have the entrepreneur stop having to continue spending so much time raising capital and get back to the business of growing their business.
Because for every moment spent raising money in venture capital land that's time that you could be spending raising money from your customer, which is what I like to try to do. So you got to be focused on the operations and the execution of the business if you want to get it to grow.
And this is so important, as I remember early on when I founded Golden Capital Network, a serial entrepreneur telling me in the process of raising capital that it was literally his second full-time job.
Wow.
Right? And if we can find a way through 5-Star Bank and this venture banking partnership to minimize and short-circuit that process, we think that can have an important value add for the companies.
Without a doubt. Now, who is the ideal client, John?
The ideal client is not an idea, and not a pre-revenue company, but ideally the passionate entrepreneur, or better yet, a team of entrepreneurs who have an innovative product, have some revenues, ideally have actually raised some amount of capital to date, whereas we can come in alongside those investors and quickly get that capital deployed again so they can move into execution. So high growth potential company, right? Because if we're gonna participate in a deal like that, we need to see that there's an opportunity for that company to scale.
And give us a sense of your background. You mentioned Golden Capital, but you come from the investment world and even the technology world and entrepreneurship. Now you've brought that to 5 Star Bank. Give us a sense as to why you're the right fit there.
Yeah, so my path in the entrepreneurial journey is I originally started in economic development in Northern California, was very frustrated with the toolbox that we had to support entrepreneurs. We didn't have any. Right. So at that time, I realized I was an entrepreneur on my own and founded Golden Capital Network with a $15,000 sponsorship from a law firm and $1,000 from Intel Capital. Hired a team of 3 others, and we were like the Shark Tank before Shark Tank happened, going back to 1999. So between 99 and 2011, we had over 2,000 startup companies get on one of our stages throughout California and Nevada, including companies like Pandora Media and StubHub. More locally, Power School and Max Preps would be a couple examples.
Right.
Through that, I built a significant network of whether service providers, CEOs, angel investors, venture capitalists throughout the capital region, but also into the Bay Area and elsewhere. So where that comes into play with 5 Star Bank being a business bank in the region and wanting to be a true partner to business is it's not just the financial products and services, which all banks have to have that, and I think we're really good at that. But we also have the ability to provide some key connections and resources to local companies so they're better positioned to grow.
I love that. I mean, 5 Star Bank is the entrepreneur's bank. It's your tagline, but it's true. It's entrepreneurs helping entrepreneurs. The 5 Star ownership, the 5 Star board, these are successful business guys right here in Sacramento. Obviously, you have these successful business connections. You've done successful businesses right here in Sacramento. I mean, how important is the leadership team there at 5 Star in really helping drive economic growth right here in our region?
It's absolutely amazing. It's a pleasure and an honor to be part of 5 Star Bank under the leadership of our CEO, James Beckwith. But I think we're unique in that while we're a community bank, we're a community bank with bandwidth. So we not only have significant and deep banking expertise, but we also have a team of folks with expertise in local government banking and commercial real estate, in agriculture, and now in venture, and a wider, even faith-based banking. Yeah. So we can bring more to bear to help individual companies than just the traditional things that you might see from a commercial bank.
Well, I like what you said about bandwidth, because you compare a 5 Star to maybe one of the larger banks that one of the household names in the world. I mean, there is an advantage to doing business with somebody that you can pick up the phone and call, right? There is an advantage to doing business with a community bank, isn't there?
Right, and we're deeply involved in the community, supporting and participating probably on dozens of boards throughout our leadership team. So if somebody has a need or an issue, an opportunity or an ask, we're more than happy to pick up the phone, stop in and meet with somebody and make a key connection to help a company land a customer, land a new team member, find a strategic advisor,
and
get some marketing and digital media expertise.
Exactly. I mean,
a wide
you guys,
variety of things.
Without question, 5 Star is my bank. I bank at 5 Star, have several accounts there. And
all right, banging.
But the people at 5 Star, they work on my golf tournament with me. They work with me to help think about what we can do together in our community. And you know what? I would like to think that maybe I'm in a position to maybe help 5 Star a little bit too, because as people come to, we have an accounting firm here at HaneyBiz Accounting, and we call it growth accounting, but sometimes there's that path to bankability. You come in, maybe you're not quite bankable yet. We need to get your balance sheet in order. We need to get you focused on some of the right things. Sometimes the right financial advice, the right accounting advice can help get you there, get you to that road to bankability, get you that funding that you need. And I think 5 Star is an ideal partner for guys like us here at HaneyBiz.
Well, exactly. And you hit it on the head. I think with the entrepreneurs that I've observed over the past 20 years have a really unique insight and a vision around a market or product opportunity that they have. And they may have a very specific skill set even within that vision, but there are so many components of starting and growing and sustaining a venture, that the best entrepreneurs I've seen are the ones who seek out resources and help that can help them get to the next level.
So you're around yourself with the right business partners. 5-Star Bank, certainly one of those partners that I can personally recommend. I want to thank you for coming on the show, Jon. We're gonna talk a little marketing when we come back. We're gonna bring on Mito Eldon. He's the man behind the HaneyBiz Marketing Company, and we will be back with the HaneyBiz Project in just a minute.
And now back to the HaneyBiz Project with investorpreneur Mark Haney.
Welcome back to the HaneyBiz Project, brought to you courtesy of accounting firm Clifton Larson Allen. I'm Mark Haney, and I'm back with Marcus Haney, and we are joined by Mito Eldon, the man behind the HaneyBiz Marketing Company. How you doing, Mito?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Now we're going to talk a little bit about marketing. You know, we do some marketing here internally, but HaneyBiz, because of you and your expertise, we've gone out and we're starting a company. We more than started that company. We have a company that's doing digital marketing, and we're experts in digital video marketing. Tell us about what we're doing.
Yeah, Mark, it's been phenomenal. And, you know, basically what we're doing is we are, like what you're saying, skating to where the puck is going to be, which is these days is digital and video and social media. And what we're seeing is businesses starting to get much higher return on investment when using video in their marketing.
Okay.
And that's what we do. We help them with their video. We help them find where their customers are and communicate their message more effectively.
Yeah, and can you give us an example of what that might look like, Mito?
Absolutely. We had one customer, a local dry cleaning company, that wanted to be able to find customers in a particular geography. El Dorado Hills, great customer out there.
Yes.
And what we did is we designed a campaign that targeted just El Dorado Hills on Facebook. We created a video. We went out there and recorded it. And we were able to optimize the campaign, and they were able to get 60 leads in 9 days.
Wow.
They converted on 50 of them.
That's amazing. I mean, the digital marketing arena is changing so fast. So I think a lot of people kind of get stuck in the way that it used to be. But even, that was so last year. Facebook ads, traditional Facebook ads, in some ways are so last year. You have to figure out a way to stay cutting edge. Can you give us a little bit about your background and then how you go about, I guess, staying cutting edge and really what cutting edge means in terms of technology?
Yeah, I have a technology background. I did a app development company that we built a team communication app that did really well. We didn't get it over the hump, but learned a lot from that experience. And I've been able to take what I learned in marketing that I've been doing for a long time to what we're doing here with our marketing company. And specifically what I'm finding is that when you use video in communication, we see that customers will retain a message up to 95% better when they see it on video than when they see it on text. And what we really specialize in here is being able to get to the emotional core of a message so that it stands out when it's on social media or on your website or on email. And that really makes a big difference.
Yeah, don't you see now that, and Marcus, I'll bring you in here too as well. I mean, you're probably on social media more than I am, but what I see is what I call content shock, where there's so much information coming at me, it's tough to really differentiate something. You just got so much information, and I'm wondering, like, how do we help these guys to get noticed? Are you seeing that, Marcus?
Absolutely. I mean, everybody's got access to every social media platform out there, and I think, Facebook specifically, going on Facebook Live like we are right now here on the HaneyBiz Project gets that Facebook video tagged to the top of everybody's news feed, which gives their more eyeballs onto that specific content. So there's different little things that you can do to get yourself more noticed on each of the platforms and, make yourself separated from everybody else.
Yeah, there's a remarkability factor. I think if you care, you'll share. And so often now, you want people to share your content, right? If I'm out there trying to get a message across, I want people to like it so much they're willing to share it with a friend. And they don't do it just because they like you. They've got to believe in what you're doing. Don't they, Mito?
Absolutely. That's the key. And, video is easy and hard. It's easy because everybody's got a phone. You got a 4K camera in that phone. I mean, super professional video. It's hard to convey emotion. If you have a knack for it, if you're a natural at it, you can really connect with people with video, and that's what makes the difference for someone to notice what you're trying to explain to them and have them connect with you.
Well, let's talk about attention span, because you see some of these videos that you'll see on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram or whatever, they're in different lengths, and I guess each distribution channel lends itself to a different length video. But what are you seeing in terms of attention span? Is it going a lot lower? People want to spend less time watching a video and they click through it real quick?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you think about yourself on your phone. I mean, just think about yourself on your phone. You just scroll through things, and it takes very little time before you might lose interest in something. Yeah. So just from your own experience, you know that's the case.
It's that first 15 seconds that kind of grabs me. If I don't get something in maybe even 10 seconds, I'm on to the next thing.
That's right.
What about influencer marketing? You and I have been spending a lot of time talking about influencer marketing as we become more influential in the different social media platforms, but also partnering with people who can influence. What do you see in terms of that trend moving forward?
Well, let me first just say that influencer marketing really is the 21st century version of word of mouth. Mm-hmm. You have people out there, and they've essentially amassed an audience, and this audience trusts them, they like them, they follow them, they watch their videos, they watch their posts on a daily basis, they trust them. And when this person, a quote-unquote influencer, says, try this, go there, do this, people trust, and that's why they will take action. So influencer marketing, it's kind of like what you're doing here in Sacramento with the show. You know, you're kind of known as the voice of entrepreneurship in Sacramento. People trust you, they come to you, they want to know, who should I talk to for banking, who should I talk to for accounting? They know that you know what you're talking about. There's an element of trust that you've established, and you are doing that here in Sacramento. It's the cutting edge of marketing.
I'm thinking of myself as a marketer who's maybe starting off. I got my business. I've started dabbling in all these testing, I suppose, in all these different areas of marketing, and nothing's working as fast as what the one you described. The one that you had 58 leads in a matter of one little campaign that really turned into sales for the one guy that you were talking about for that example. But aren't there times when you just have to stay patient and continue to test until you discover that hidden gem?
Absolutely. Let me just tell you this. There's always a silver bullet. There's always a silver bullet out there. It's just a matter of if you're going to stay in the game long enough to find it. But this is a brand new world. Nobody's figured out all the angles. There's just huge untapped opportunities to generate revenue online, both for a traditional company as well as for an online company.
Yeah, and I think to the listening audience, if you're one of those people that's saying, you know what, I am doing some marketing now and it's not working as well as I'd like, I think Mito might be somebody you want to talk to. I'm obviously always here for you, Sacramento, but we want to help grow Sacramento business. That's why we started the HaneyBiz marketing company. Is how do we help grow Sacramento business? It's good for the economy. It's good for jobs. It's good for our families. And I call it the power of with Mito Eldon and Marcus Haney and Jon Gregory of 5 Star Bank. Any of us can grow our business. You just need the 3 legs of the stool. You need the product. Marcus, there's some real estate. You got to have real estate in some cases too, don't you, Marcus?
You got to have a little space, location.
If you have the right hookup on commercial real estate, that can be a big advantage.
No doubt. And if you want that hookup on commercial real estate, you got to call Ethan Conrad Properties over there. They're doing a really great competition for the local entrepreneurs here in the Capital Region, giving away upwards of $100,000 in commercial real estate and tenant improvements. Go to HaneyBiz.com to fill out an application or find out more info.
Yeah, $100,000 in free rent from Ethan Conrad. Very generous. There's going to be a big competition. It's a chance to get connected with the venture funding guys around the area, right? Because the guys that are judging that contest are the who's who of venture funding right here in Sacramento. Yours truly will be the MC of the big event. So you got to get connected to Ethan Conrad. I can help you do that as well.
And if you want more Mark Haney, I know not all of you want more Mark Haney, but we are hosting an event here at the Allegiant Giving Center, 4465 Granite Drive, the HaneyBiz headquarters, on September 28th from 5 to 7:30. We're going to be talking about the 3 keys to maximizing your entrepreneurial potential. Mark is going to be out here on the ones and twos giving you guys a little message, so do not want to miss that. Again, that's September 28th from 5 to 7:30 here on Granite Drive in Rockland.
Gonna be fun. And next week, you don't want to miss this either. Next week, we're going to be talking more marketing, more finance, and more about the great products that are getting built right here in Sacramento. Jack Crawford of Impact Venture Capital will join us, along with John Koss of Pondera Solutions. Join the revolution at HaneyBiz.com. When we come back, I will have some closing thoughts you're not going to want to miss. This is the HaneyBiz Project.
Welcome back for Mark's takeaways from today's HaneyBiz Project.
Welcome back to the HaneyBiz Project, brought to you courtesy of Silver's HR, Mark Haney. And we've been talking about building businesses with differentiation. And that differentiation, you know, it can lead to a competitive advantage, but all great companies seem to possess a secret weapon, right? They've all got, sometimes they have a lot of secret weapons. I think Arik has multiple secret weapons that he's got going. He didn't want to disclose some of that stuff, but you know what? He's building businesses that are growing like crazy. And, you know, Marcus, did you have any takeaways from today?
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously want to keep some of those secrets close to your vest, but just hearing Arik's story about how he tried numerous different business models and one didn't quite work, so he had to adjust and then go to a different to try to find that exact differentiator which could take him to the top. So that was really interesting to hear.
It sounds like the laundry business is still strong and the new business has great legs. And with the Amazon effect, there's a lot of runway. And I think if you have the right financing, as John brought up, venture funding, it's not it's a little on the newer side. Well, Five Star Bank is beginning to do that here. But I think my takeaways from today, you know, is maybe something I brought in. We talked about, you know, needing a product guy, right? Arik obviously is a product guy. He's surrounded himself with a finance guy, but you've got to also have a way to get that product to market. You got to have the sales and marketing team. And you know, the way I'll answer that question is, who do you tell about your secret? The people I tell about our strategy, our secret sauce that is brewing around HaneyBiz and what's brewed in my other companies, I tell my team, right? If you have your team committed to the secret, right? A company, all successful companies have this secret sauce, and sometimes it's not easy to see. You don't always have it when you first start the company. You might think you have the secret sauce, but ladies and gentlemen, business plans change, and the road to that secret sauce can be somewhat bumpy. I mean, you're talking to a guy that was in the video store business, right? I was a video store guy. Tell me the road has not been bumpy. But, you know, because I hear people, you know, oh, there's only so much time in a day, Mark. You know, I can't be everything to everyone. I'm like, well, what am I supposed to do? How do I keep a work-life balance? You hear that from people. And all I can think of is, I was in the video store business, you guys, and I still, you know, now we're coming, you know, built some security companies, had to exit. It has not been easy. The road will not be easy, but commitment leads to creativity, right? So if you have a team like Arik has, like we have here at HaneyBiz, like 5 Star has, that goes all in, the creativity will come from that commitment. The secret sauce will emerge if you have the right commitment. That commitment, it leads to creativity. And I think it's that road of preparation that sometimes we don't value that bumpy road as much as we have the ups and downs and the frustrations and you know, it's not always easy. That stuff actually is helpful. That helps us to build a business. I think that bumpy road, it's helped me so many times in my life. I know, as bumpy as it might feel on a day-to-day basis, I know that road is going to help me to be prepared in the end, because, preparedness, if you aren't prepared, when the opportunity comes, you know what, you can't take advantage of it. You cannot grow that dream. So just a little shout out to all of my friends out here who are building businesses, and they're going through the rocky road, the bumpy road. Have a little patience. This is just your preparation time. Stay with it. Go all in. The creativity will come. And you know what? A shout out and a thank you to the leaders of Hometown Patriotism, to Arik, Levy, and Jon Gregory, and to you, Marcus and Mito, and to all those who commit to fight for our freedom, the freedom to discover new business opportunities, uncover more secrets that improve our way of life, to the 13 stripes, to the 50 stars, and to the one big American secret, that's always worth fighting for, Marcus, yours. Never above you, never below you, always by your side.